Hi, Merry Christmas in July. So my name's Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. I have a really fun Christmas card I'm going to show you as part of my Christmas in July. But before I get started, I wanted to remind you that the holiday catalog, now known as the August to December catalog, will be starting in August. So if you don't have one yet, if you're my customer and you've purchased from me recently, then you should have yours by now because I mailed them quite some time ago. But if you don't have anybody sending you one and you're new to Stampin' Up, then just message me and I would be happy to get one in the mail to you. It's got so much fun stuff in it. A lot of the things I'm going to use on today's card. And then I also wanted to remind you that I have 2 online classes that have registration ongoing. And then I have a couple more that will pop up next week. So you'll want to either be on my email list or head to my website to get the details on that. And I will mention them in my videos. The first is the Boho Indigo class, and that one, to join that, as long as the Boho Indigo medley is available, if you purchase it during this catalog year from me, then the online class is free. And there will be videos posting for the next 3 months. The first one goes up next week, so July, August, and September. So no matter if you buy it after September, you get access to all the videos at once, but otherwise you'll have to wait till they go up. So you'll get the projects and instructions for six cards using your stuff. You don't actually get any materials, you just get the free ideas, but you'll have all of the stuff that comes in that fabulous medley. If you're a demonstrator and you've already purchased, or if you are if you already purchased your medley from another demonstrator, then there are ways that you can get the class from me. So go to my website and click the class registration thing and it will tell you those. If you're on my team, then everybody on my team is going to get those videos for free. Then my second class that has registration open right now, and there's not very many days left to sign up for it. It closes on August 2nd, is my very favorite class that I offer, and it is my Try It class, and it's the Try It class that goes with this. So my Try It classes are designed around the designer series papers that come in a new catalog. So in this one, there are 10. There's more papers, but I'm not doing the returning ones, just the new ones. So each card has a template and you get a PDF. So you'll have the sketch and the template to use forever, and you can swap out any paper or any other thing. So I send you the PDF, the template. Every card has an instructional video, and although you don't get all of the paper, you do get to see all of it in the thing. And then each card also has a new embellishment and a new ribbon and often a new punch or a new die cut, and then you just provide a sentiment stamp to go along with it. So it's a really fun class, and the reason it's called a Try It is because then you get to try almost everything new in the catalog that is paper, ribbon, embellishments, that kind of stuff. It's a really fun class. Trust me, super, super fun. One of my favorite classes that I do. You will love it. And if you've ever done like a paper share or a ribbon share, and it gets to be 2 years later and you still have a stack of that stuff sitting there, with this you won't. You'll actually use it. You'll see, do I like it? A lot of people thought on this my annual one that maybe they'd never use the whale or the playful pets, and then when they actually used it and saw the fun little sequins and the little bones and things, they're like, oh, I like that. Other people might find something that they thought they were gonna love, and they're like, a couple cards of it is fine. So it's a really fun, really fun class. And again, if you're on my team, if you're a demonstrator on my team, then you can Zoom in with us. We do a Zoom version. And if you're part of the Zoom class, then you get to do that for free. So that's fun. So if you sign up to be a demonstrator, then you get to buy our new embossing and cutting machine. That we can pre-order that in August. So it's going to be a fun month. So I'm going to aim my camera down now and do this really fun card. It's a quick card. That's why I could gab a little bit at the beginning. But hang on just a second. Okay, this card ends up kind of being like a Try It card because it's got a lot of stuff on it, except that it's not really focused on a designer series paper. But you'll get to see several new things. I'm going to use the stamp set For Unto Us. It's a beautiful stamp set. It's all sentiments. And I'm going to use the die. And it's from the annual catalog. I don't know which set I pulled it out of, because I have them all hanging on a magnet board. But underneath the video or on my website, you can see all the pieces. And then I'm going to use the new brushed metallics paper, and I'm going to use a window sheet. So I'm going to do that first, just to give it a second to kind of heat set. So I'm going to use craft white ink, which my pad's really old. They don't look like this anymore. I thought that I had a new one, and I think maybe I do, and I just don't know where it is. But you know, that happens. But they all work the same. So if you have this one, it still works. It's the same thing. And now I've popped it off. So I'm going to stamp on window sheet. I really wanted it to be in peacock, and it may have worked if I'd switched sentiments, but it didn't work the first time. So I'll show you the one that didn't work. And I'm going to use one of the bold sayings. Now, when you stamp on window sheet, it is slippery. Excuse me. So you want to be careful. You just stamp down. Make sure you have nice, good, firm pressure. I'm only using this paper piercing mat because I'm going to use it for a second to actually pierce my paper, but not because this stamp needed it. So the craft ink is actually a little sticky, but if you want it to be color, like I did peacock, then it's a little bit more slippery. So here we have it in Boston, or just stamped in white, and the white is pretty good on its own. You can see that. So you could almost just let that dry and it would be good enough, but it's Christmas, so we want it to be a little bit more bold. And on the back of this design, it really helps to have it be a little bit more bold. Now, when you're embossing a window sheet, you don't want to get your fingers all over it. You most certainly do not want to put any kind of lotion on your hands and then work with it, because it already tends to pick up fingerprints. And I'm a big, when I emboss on regular paper, I like smuck the whole thing on my paper and then just pour it back in there. With this, I'm not going to do it because I want it to touch as little as possible. So I've got it all on the design, and I'm going to flip it over. That way it's touching as little of the window sheet as possible. Which on this one, it doesn't matter as much because all those little white flecks, I'm just going to call them snow. So if it's got some snow on it, it has some snow on it, because, you know, they're static in our houses. So if you can get off a little of them, then get them off. But I don't worry a lot about it because it's a window sheet and it's going to be showing through. So put this back in here, and then I am going to heat set it. Now here's a trick with it. Get your gun nice and hot before you aim it over there, because you don't want the window sheet would take a long time, I think, to melt. But you don't want it to melt. So I'm going to turn this on, let it get warm, and then once it's warm, I will aim it towards my stuff. So now you can see there's fingerprints around the edge where I'm holding it. So I've cut this a little bit bigger than I need it to be. And now that it's warm, I'm just going to go ahead and put it there. See my little snow? But I'm not worried, and especially because it's white. And because it's on a Christmas tree card, I think it's fine. You want to make sure that you got everywhere. Looks pretty good. Give it one more little blast. But you can see it doesn't melt. Lots of people are like, oh, that you can do that and it doesn't melt. But you can see it looks good. It does have a little snow effect. That's okay. We're just going to call it a snow globe and be good with it. So I want to cut this into this shape. But I want to wait till the embossing powder has cooled down. If you've ever touched warm embossing powder, then you know it can get a fingerprint in it, or it can kind of flatten down. So sending it through the embossing machine while it's really hot isn't the best idea. So I'm just going to let it sit for a second. It just needs to cool, which doesn't take long. So I'm just going to do another step first, which also is embossing. But this time we're going to emboss with this fabulous new folder that's these pine trees. So pretty. We did it, my daughter and I do our unboxings together when we get new orders. And this one we pulled out gold foil that day. And so this card's kind of been in my mind ever since we did that. So this is our new brushed metallics. So I've cut them into 4 by 2 by 2, and then this little bit here. So this will cover a full sheet of cardstock. So I'm going to lay them in here just next to each other and try to line them up as perfectly as possible. This is a good card just to do all one time when you haven't put any lotion on your hands, because this cardstock also will show fingerprints. So just get it lined up there. And once it's lined up, just shut it. So now we've got it. Some of the trees may go off the top. I mean, it's a big folder. It's way bigger than standard size. And then always send them through with the crease first. Once if you're a Stampin' Up! Customer, you can buy the new machine in September, and I will also be having a ton of online classes for those of you that buy the machine with me. So be watching for that. And look how stunningly beautiful that is. Is that not just gorgeous? It's so pretty. So now we've had plenty of time for our other thing to cool down. I just didn't want to smash it. And I'm gonna get a new plate because all this stuff that happens to our plates will transfer over to that window sheet. So I have this one. These are in the catalog. I'm gonna wipe everything off of it just to keep so these are in the current catalog, and these are the ones that are designed to go with our upcoming machine, but they do work if you have a big shot. So if you need one and you're waiting, and then this little piece of paper that comes in with will also help protect it from all that nastiness that's on my bottom plate. But these work. So if you're waiting to get new plates or waiting for the new machine, or you have a big shot and you need it, these work. So don't be waiting any longer. Just go order some now. So just send it through once. You don't need more than once because you don't want to take a chance of smashing your embossing any more than necessary. So we've got this, and then just pop that out. And then I've got my blends. I've got my peacock and my cherry. So a play on red and green. I'm going to take my cherry first, and there's little holly berries right here, and I'm on the back side, and I'm just going to color a bigger circle. It needs to be bigger so it goes behind the white, but anywhere there's a holly berry, I'm just going to do a big splotch circle of cherry. And then over on this little thing, it says Christmas begins with Christ, and the with is in this little banner here. And again, you need to go all the way up to the edge. And use your bullet tip. It gives you a little stronger concentration of the ink. And you want it as dark as you can. In fact, I'm going to put some here. And then I'm going to come back over here and do the same thing where you just add a little bit of peacock just behind these little holly branches. So the peacock looks really pretty with these metallic papers, and it also goes with my embellishment. So that's how I went with my colors. And this will dry really quickly. See how pretty this is? I'm going to put it on the white. It'll be a little bit easier for you to see. So it just gives it a little bit of a highlight. Now let's take our pieces here. Well, the blend's just set all the way. And then I have a peacock. I have two pieces of peacock. I have my card, which if these were my Christmas cards and I was sending them and I wasn't doing it for a video, I would take one of the other sentiments, probably the one that just says Merry Christmas, and emboss it. Probably not. Let me take that back. I would stamp it in white on the inside. I'm not going to do that for you now. And then I have a false front just because it's easier to work with. I'm going to grab my seal. The Seal Plus, because I want these to hold nicely. I'm going to go right around the edges. Just like this. And then I'm also going to pull like these through. And I'm going to start here. And these should end up about 5.5. And I have my little trimmer in case they don't. And then this paper's cut 5 1/4. So there is a little bit of a gap, but I can trim it. And then I'm just butting these right back up against each other. And this Seal Plus holds so super strong. And I'm going to try not to touch where there's not any embossing because it doesn't hold fingerprints there. But up at the top it would. So now we've got that, and it's all stuck nice and beautifully. Okay, now you can see here it went butt up against, here it did not. So I'm gonna take my little mini paper trimmer, which I do have a way you can get it free this month if you go to my website or you're on my email list. And I'm just gonna trim that right down. Now, if these hadn't matched up, I could trim those too, but those match nicely. But having the same color background here as what I'm going to put on my card then allows me to kind of play with it. And I don't have to worry so much when I'm mounting it to this that everything's perfect the first go around. Because if that had not been perfect on here, then I would have been stuck with it the way it was on my card. This way, it kind of gives you some play with it. So now let's go back to my paper piercing mat. And you know, that's what these are. They're to pierce. And I know we use them a lot for stamping. But I'm actually going to pierce with it. I'm going to take my pick tool. I'm going to poke a hole on this side. Poke a hole on this side. And then I'm going to get some of the copper ribbon. That's in a holiday catalog. And this is part of one of our fall combos. And the other one that comes with it is a really pretty mint. But I just need the copper piece. Just stick this through the hole here. And then when I get to this side, I'm just going to tie a little knot. Here. And I don't want to have a lot of overhang, so a little knot's good. So just like this, and then kind of twist it so it goes the direction that you want your ribbon to go. I'm going to take my false front. This is another reason it's nice to have the false front. You can see how pretty this is going to be on top of here, all the texture and all the different colors. And then just wrap this around here. And again, I don't want to waste ribbon, so kind of lay it on here and pull it tight and then see about how much you need. You're going to need a tiny bit more than you did on the other side just so you have something to work with. And pull it up through the hole. Okay, so when you've got that in there, then just pull it and pull it as taut as you can. Make sure this is flipped like the right direction. And have it all like where you want it to go before you tie your knot. Although they're not super, like you can move it a little bit because it's not attached. And then just tie another knot on this side. And then when you have that, just give that a little twist. Try to get that flat. And if this on the back needs to be crooked, so that's flat, you can twist that because nobody's going to see that. Let's put this here. Get my stuff out of the way. And then this is exactly the same size. So put that there. And then because this has now like been sandwiched between seal, it's not going to go anywhere. It could move up and down, but it's not going to go off the card because that seal is super strong. Now I wanted to show you two things. First, this is my attempt at trying to emboss in seal. in Peacock, and he embossed it with clear. And I think it may have worked maybe if I had switched to it wouldn't have worked for this card. It would work if you want to do it on a white card, if you choose a thicker font. But that font is too fine, so don't do that because I just wasted this. So that's trash. But before you waste it and think, oh, this would be pretty embossed in one of the smaller fonts, I don't even think the white would work so well on this. So don't do that. Choose one that has a nice bold font and a bright embossing thing. And then these are our blue adhesive back gems, which are in the upcoming catalog. So if you were doing a card such as this, we wouldn't do anything this ornate because you would have a designer series paper in it. But this would be something where you'd get ribbon, you would get a video that walks you exactly through on your class, and then you get embellishments. And they're all in a fun little packet. All the card stock is cut. So we're just gonna add these. And this was how I went with the copper and the peacock, because these are peacock and then have the copper shimmer to them. So I'm gonna put 2 big ones up there, and it's always best if you work in odd numbers when adding your embellishments. Get a big one down here. Shut that one up a little bit. There we go. And then you have this really pretty sparkly card. I will take pictures of it and put it on my website because it's one of those ones that's hard to see on camera, in video, or in a picture. But there they are. I hope you like that. And I will be having Christmas projects for the next almost still a week. We're only a day into it, so it's still a bit of time. So I hope you like it, enjoy it, and everybody have a great day, and I will see you back here in a couple more. Bye.